अस्सलाम वालेकुम। प्रोग्राम एम्बेसी रोड में खुश आमदीद। नाज़रीन, आज हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में पाकिस्तान में मलेशिया के हाई कमिश्नर दातो डॉक्टर हसरसानी मुजतबार हैं और हम उनसे बात करेंगे पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया के बाहमी ताल्लुकात के हवाले से, और उसके अलावा जो इलाकाई और आलमी मसाइल हैं उन पर पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया के दरमियान किस हद तक फ़िक्र की और ख़्याल की और सोच की हम आहंगी है, इस पर भी गुफ्तगू करेंगे। इस इंटरव्यू में हम पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया के मुस्तकबिल के ताल्लुकात पर भी बात करेंगे कि दोनों मुल्कों में मुस्तकबिल में किस तरह ताल्लुकात में, बाहमी ताल्लुकात में वसअत जो है वो पैदा की जा सकती है। High Commissioner, thank you very much for joining us in this program.
You're welcome.
Pakistan and Malaysia both are Islamic countries and brotherly countries. We have had very good relations in the past. And how do you evaluate the relationship between the two countries at this juncture?
Thank you very much. First of all, to the WAK TV station for inviting me to meet your audience. A Happy New Year and Maulidul Rasul as well. I would categorize the bilateral relations between Malaysia and Pakistan as excellent. Since we established our diplomatic relations way back in 1957, the relationship has been going from strength to strength. And we are the first two Islamic countries that signed an FTA in 2007, which was, of course, implemented in 2008. So that augurs well with the partnership between two Islamic countries. And in South Asia, Pakistan is Malaysia's second largest trading partner. So that shows, again, another good relationship. And of course, for Pakistan, Malaysia is your largest trading partner in Southeast Asia, or ASEAN, as you call it. And the good relationship also being reflected in the high number of your people working in my country. We have over 80,000 Pakistanis
working in
Malaysia. Also, a huge number of students studying in Malaysia, about 3,000, and the number keep on increasing year by year. And we have also good number of tourists from your country. On average, for the last 3 years, about 80,000 plus tourists that come to Malaysia. So all these are some of the indicators that you could see our relationship is growing. And I'm sure in the years ahead, I'm confident that the two brotherly countries, the relationship will be strengthened, inshallah.
Excellency, you have mentioned the trade relations between the two countries, and as you have said that Pakistan is the largest trade partner of Malaysia in South Asia. How can we expand further the bilateral trade relations? How could we work together?
That is a very common question that I've been asked by the Pakistanis, how we can expand our present relationship, even though Malaysia is Pakistan's top trading partner in Southeast Asia. I feel number one is for us to go beyond the palm oil business trade, because palm oil business accounts for about 65%
of our bilateral trade.
Bilateral trade. And others involves like agriculture, textile, electronics, and so on. So I think both sides has to seek means and ways how to diversify our bilateral trade. So there are many other areas that we could look into. For example, on energy, where you need it.
Our country is very energy deficit.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
And infrastructure, you are also coming up with all kind of things, and township. You know, when we heard about this China corridor, and you are going to build more towns and cities and along the way infrastructure and so on. So I'm sure we can contribute in some way or another in such development. So I think the most important thing is how both sides could come into strategic thinking to diversify from our focus on palm oil. Yeah? And as I said, there are many areas that I mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Yes, energy is a very important sector. For us, energy is now number one problem.
Yeah.
Because of shortage of energy, our economy is suffering. So how could Malaysia come forward and help Pakistan overcome the energy crisis?
Yeah. We are aware of the problem of the insufficiency of energy in our country. I think that is something that the country needs to overcome in order to move forward. In fact, Malaysia do have a few companies already in Pakistan. One is in Daharki in Sindh province. We have one.
They are working in the energy field?
Yes, energy field.
Okay.
And they are already starting producing it. And the other one in New Bong project, which is we joint venture with the Chinese and South Korean. And few other malls are coming in. So we do, in a little way, has helped you. But of course, we are looking into more in future. But we have indeed has already started to work on this.
So your expertise in the energy sector is in hydropower or solar energy, or you can help us in generating energy from the wind?
It can be in all
fields.
In all fields, yeah. Yeah, so we have in Malaysia hydro, we have also on gas and oil. So we are open to all these areas. Yeah.
High Commissioner, how about expanding the trade relationship in the field of joint ventures? Can Pakistan and Malaysia go into joint ventures so that both countries can benefit from each other? Expertise, and would you like to suggest to our people in the government that these are the areas where Malaysia can come forward and help Pakistan, or they can start joint ventures?
Yeah. I think the issue of joint venture is something that both sides must consider seriously. To me, there are many areas that we could look into. So one is, for example, on the halal food, because your strength is in agriculture. I know I have visited some of your farms and your cattle industry. You have a good system and comprehensive system. You can, for example, both countries have operation in both countries, in either side. I noticed that, for example, certain of your breeds, cattle, for example, are of high quality. And Malaysia is as you know, a center of the halal hub area. So not only in this agriculture field, but also in other areas related to halal, including medicine, including food, and so on. So this is, I think, one area we should work into. And then also the strength of your agriculture, when I see, we can both combine to have a value-added products of, for example, your agriculture.
The field of agriculture.
When I notice certain of your fruits, for example, a lot of them are gone to wastage because there is no
preservation
all this.
Fruit.
Yeah. And this is again that both sides can work together, because you have the material, we have the technology, expertise, then we can work together so that you would not see the wastage of your beautiful fruits and very delicious fruits, for example, in many parts of Pakistan. So that is one area, another area that I could see. And the others in the spots of, in the areas of even nuclear. You are ahead of us in nuclear technology, so we can learn from you. And of course, there has been some movements lately. Both sides of the country showed interest, and our people have came here to learn from you, from your nuclear technology for peaceful means, especially. So these are just a few areas that I wish to quote that the potential of joint ventures are there, but both sides must work hard enough. See, from my observation, there is a need for both sides to increase in the high-level visits, for example. I think lately there's not been some high-level visits as used to be. During Mahathir's time, he visited 4 or 5 times in Pakistan.
Yeah,
so this is something
we have to... He came to Pakistan, and he actually is so well known in this country that everybody in our streets is aware of Mahathir Mohamad's era and his contribution in the development and progress of Malaysia.
Yes. He's been our Prime Minister for a long time, for 23 years. From 1981 to, I can't remember, for 23 years he has been our Prime Minister.
He's been there for a very long time.
Very long time. So we are lucky in the sense that having such a long duration, he was able to lay out the plans in every 5 years. We have economic plans every 5 years. And because of his long range of tenure in office, he could managed to come up with so many programs continuously.
The era of Mahathir Mohamad is over. He's no longer formally the Prime Minister of Malaysia, but he's giving advice to the government. Do you think that after his resignation or after completing his tenure in the office, Malaysia is still progressing at the same rate, or the growth rate of Malaysia economically is the same, or it has gone down?
Well, generally it has maintained the growth, and even though we do not have Dr. Mahathir now at the helm of the administration, but currently under Dr. Sri Najib, our current Prime Minister, Malaysia, alhamdulillah, has the highest growth rate in Southeast Asia, about 6% for the last 4 or 5 years average.
6% is quite a good rate.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. And we hope to achieve by 2020, if this growth rate continues, we will achieve the developed status. That is our target. But from what we were told, if this rate continue, we might even achieve the result earlier, maybe by 2018, not 2020.
At this growth rate?
Yeah, this growth rate. So that is the assessment that we made by our economists. Yeah.
So Mahathir Mohamad primarily laid down the foundations of the modern Malaysia. And what is the strength of your economy? Is it heavy industries? It is manufacturing? It is electronics? Which area is more advanced, and you can claim that this is the area where Malaysia is known all over the world for its products?
I see. Now is the services and manufacturing is our key component of economy. When Mahathir took over, that time he enhanced the heavy industries. He started all the heavy industries at his age. And before that, it was import substitution and just export with very high labor rate. When he took over, he started these heavy industries and moving towards service. And the current Prime Minister just continued from the basic that he has done. So he has laid down the foundation, and that is the wonderful part. And it's easier for the other of his successors to follow. It's all there. When he was in power, he set up the Vision 2020. Just imagine, in 1981, he had set up that vision. And the current Prime Minister just follow and modified a little bit according to the current situation of the global economy. Yeah.
High Commissioner, we'll take a short break and then we'll come back. नाज़रीन, एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम पाकिस्तान में मलेशिया के हाई कमिश्नर से मज़ीद गुफ्तगू करेंगे कि किस तरह पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया अपना जो बाहमी ताउन है उसको बढ़ा सकते हैं और किस तरह वो तजारत और दूसरे शोबों में अपने ताल्लुकात को वसअत दे सकते हैं. वेलकम बैक. हम गुफ्तगू कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में मलेशिया के हाई कमिश्नर से. Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has been accused by some of his critics that he was a kind of autocrat and didn't allow the free press to grow, and he even went to the extent of suppressing his opposition. Is this correct?
Well, that depends how you look at it. Sometimes the word authoritarian means different things for different people. For us, especially for developing countries, when we are growing up, they need certain amount of leadership
and stability.
So people might use that as authoritarian, but for us, it's like a fatherly who wants to bring up the children, using a little bit of
and
force,
you need
energy.
discipline.
Discipline, yeah. So how you interpret the word authoritarian. But if you see the end result, Alhamdulillah, the end result was good. So that means his approach that he took was accurate. Bearing in mind our background, our historical development, because when we became independent, the economy was really upside down.
Yeah. It was
in shutters. Yeah. So many things we have to do to recover, to put back the people on track. So this is the quality of a leader. So he must be able to see and have the discipline to push the country forward. So whether you want to call it authoritarian, so I leave it open. But of course, to certain Western philosophies, they might categorize it as authoritarian. But for us, a little bit of, if you use that word, authoritarian is good, for especially for developing countries. But once the society progresses, then you can
gradually give
freedom, open,
openness can come.
When the people are more educated, they can argue very well and so on and so forth. Then it's okay, you relax a bit. And that's what the current Prime Minister did. So he has opened a little bit compared to the previous administration. But of course, then the critics might argue, now we have a new problem coming in, but that is part of life as you move forward. Yeah.
High Commissioner, you mentioned Pakistan, Malaysia cooperating in the field of nuclear technology. It's a very sensitive subject. Pakistan has suffered a lot when it was trying to become a nuclear power. But now I think nuclear energy cooperation is very common. Yes. So in what way would you like the two countries to cooperate with each other?
You see, when we talk of nuclear, of course some people equate nuclear with only for the military. Yeah?
For weaponization.
For Malaysia, we are more inclined to talk about nuclear for peaceful uses. For example, in medical,
in agriculture.
There are many things that we can learn. We have As I told earlier, we have some visitors coming to your country. There is one center not far from Islamabad. It's about
Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission.
Yes.
PINSTEC.
PINSTEC. We went there. I went there myself. I was very impressed with your facilities. So I told my people, you see, you can learn something from Pakistan. So in countries that in future, energy is always the main issue. You have already faced that problem, and I'm sure in future Malaysia will face a shortage of energy as well as the population grows and so on and so forth. And nuclear energy is one source of energy.
Very clean and safe.
Clean and safe. As long as we are disciplined, we know how to take care of it. It doesn't fall into the wrong hands. All these things you have to have in mind. Then, inshallah, you can move forward and benefit from the strengths of a nuclear country. Yeah.
Commissioner, you mentioned Pakistani students going to Malaysia for studies. Which areas the Pakistani students are studying in Malaysia? Higher education, technical education? Which education they are going to get there?
Well, they study in all kinds of field: engineering, business, IT, and even when I visited the ComSec the other day, your lecturers, some of them are doing their PhD there. So it's a variety of areas. And I'm very happy that this relationship is growing day by day. And every year there are exhibitions in the major cities in Karachi to woo your students to study there. Alhamdulillah.
Is it very expensive to study in Malaysia? Or it's,
not at all.
It's
not
reasonably.
At all. Reasonably. Yeah. The beauty of studying in Malaysia, one is a Muslim country. So for Muslim, it's very easy.
Yeah.
To get halal food. Culturally,
it's very easy.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable.
Yeah, and it's also has a lot of what I call it sister twin cities, combining with the UK, Australia, US. So if you send your son or daughter in Malaysia, let's say in the field of engineering, at one of the universities, Monash University there, it's only costs about 1/3 of what you send to Australia. Likewise to UK or US.
So it's quite economical if you send students
yes.
for studies to Malaysia.
Exactly. So this is something now I see why Malaysia is becoming so popular. So these are some of the factors. It's quite cheap, but you good education. The environment is suitable for you. The culture is more closer as a Muslim nation. The food, you have also Pakistani restaurants there in the halal food. So it's more closer to your heart. And I'm very happy to see that this trend of sending the son
students
and
for studies to Malaysia.
Alhamdulillah.
Right. High Commissioner, Pakistan and Malaysia both probably have similar views on various issues. One of the issues that confront the Islamic world as a whole is this issue of extremism and terrorism. And Pakistan, as you know, is paying a big price for extremism and terrorism. How could we, the Islamic world as a whole, and particularly Pakistan, meet this challenge successfully?
This issue is a very difficult issue, terrorism and extremism. And after we witnessed what happened in Peshawar,
Army Public School.
Yes, and we feel really sorry for and I express our deep sympathy to the family members. To us, like the extremism has gone to the extreme, limits, killing the future generation, the people going to school, So it's difficult for us to accept this. And our Prime Minister has conveyed it to your Prime Minister, and the Foreign Minister also conveyed it to your Foreign Minister of the senseless killing, you know. So this issue, extremism, is also something that Malaysia cares a lot, and we take really, really serious on this issue, on this matter. That's why we believe in that Muslims should not take that path. You know, we should be pragmatic. We should be dynamic. We should be moderate. Yeah, and that's what actually the teaching of Islam is. You know, we all know that children going to school is actually doing a jihad thing. How can you kill a body who is doing a jihad? You know, so it contradicts with the basic tenets of Islam. And from our experience, extremism has to be curbed at the initial stage, nip in the bud. We take very strong measures at the initial stage already. So if we see that these movements seems to be deviating, you know, we quickly nip it. Because especially for us, we are a multicultural country, multiracial, multi-religious. So when you play with extremism, it's always like playing with fire. So that is what we learn.
So you have been able to curb extremism and terrorism, and you have been able to bring it under control in Malaysia. So that's a great achievement. So we'll have another short break and we'll come back. नाज़रीन, एक मुख्तसर ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक से वापसी के बाद हम पाकिस्तान में मलेशिया के हाई कमिश्नर से मज़ीद गुफ्तगू करेंगे पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया के ताल्लुकात के हवाले से. वेलकम बैक. हम बात कर रहे हैं पाकिस्तान में मलेशिया के हाई कमिश्नर से. उनसे बात हो रही थी कि पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया दोनों इस्लामी मुल्क हैं, लेकिन टेररिज्म और एक्सट्रीमिज्म दोनों के लिए एक चैलेंज है. तो किस तरह इस चैलेंज से निपटा जा सकता है? हाई कमिश्नर, कमिंग बैक टू दिस प्रॉब्लम ऑफ एक्सट्रीमिज्म, इज दिस मलेशिया इज स्टिल नॉट that badly hit by this extremism, and it's because of the different brand of religion that Malaysia is practicing, or it's just because you have taken very strict measures to bring extremism under control?
Well, I wouldn't want to categorize that our Islam is different from others. From our understanding of the religion is, I think, almost the same as all Muslims. But how we approach the problem, I think that helps us a lot. The measures, early measures that we take, you know. So, for example, when we talk of here, let's compare to Malaysia and Pakistan on the issue of madrasah. We also have madrasah, and I know you have over thousands of madrasah.
Yes, we have.
So we encourage them to preach Islam in a peaceful manner. But if in the syllabus there are elements of militancy, then we have to take action, for example. And we also control where are the sources of their income. We should monitor them. That's another important area. Then the curriculum must be uniform. They must be approved by the government. So you cannot have a
madrasa of your own choice.
Yeah, too independent, and you cannot control it. So this is, I think, one way of curbing them. And we monitor closely also all our students who go abroad. Some of them goes to many countries where they have more, their Islamic teaching may more leaning towards a kind of militancy. So we always monitor all this, and we ensure that if there is signs that they are deviating, then we'll stop sending our students there. So you have to
take a multidimensional approach.
Yes. And extremism also, the way from our experience, also comes from a marginalization of the economy of a country. So make sure all our provinces or all our states, as we call
equally
developed. Yes. Because we see in the 60s and the 50s, when there are parts of Malaysia not developed, these are the areas which are susceptible to all these elements of terrorism, extremism. So when you develop this area, you provide them education, you provide them jobs. They have no reason to take arms against you.
What you're saying is that in order to bring extremism or terrorism under check or under control, economic progress is very important.
Very, very important.
So if Pakistan and other countries, Afghanistan and other countries who are experiencing this problem of extremism, if they give them good economic opportunities, the people of the marginalized areas, I think they will be able to control it.
Yes, they will reduce it tremendously. And also education. Education is also the key to curb all this problem.
We have the mindset.
Mindset, very correct. The mindset, because if you are not properly educated, you are easily being exploited by those who wish to see a different path. So education is very, very important. Yeah.
So, High Commissioner, how would you describe the three air crashes that have hit the Malaysian airline and that has really saddened everybody in Malaysia, in Pakistan, elsewhere? So, in the last year, these three things have happened, three accidents. Is this not very mysterious, intriguing that it is happening only to Malaysian aircrafts?
Yes. Anyway, thank you for the sympathy and expression of sorrow towards this incident of the two Malaysian airlines and one Air Asia. So it is very sad for all of us. Our aviation industry has been very badly hit by these three incidents, and of course the two incidents by Malaysian Airlines was not the fault of the pilots or the fault of it's beyond our control. One is mysteriously disappeared,
and it's still not found.
And never found. And
the wreckage is not there.
Not there, and not even one piece was found in unlike the case of the Air Asia. Once you spot one of the pieces, then you can
They've
easily
been able to recover.
Yeah. So that raises a question whether, in the first place, the information given by the Imalsat was correct or wrong. So that raises a question. So maybe that's not the place, the one that we have been searching all this while in the southwest of Australia, might not be there. So it raises a question, and we have to start looking into the possibility what other areas it might, So, but the emerging consensus is that the MH370 is not by accident. It is like foul play. This is the emerging. But when you have a foul play, you need evidence. So it's very difficult to pinpoint, somebody
who has done it.
So we have to be very careful. But in the case of Air Asia, it's very simple. It's quite, it's an unfortunate incident. The weather was very bad. At that time, it was a monsoon season in that part of the world. And maybe there was this issue of the pilot requesting to fly further up, and then, something happened. But definitely it was due to weather. But for the case of MH300, so it's mysteriously disappeared, and there is emerging consensus that maybe it has been hijacked or what. But you need a lot of proof. This is where.
But the other one, now it has, I think it has been proven that the other one was hit by a missile, a Ukrainian missile or Russian missile. What's the reality there?
All right. So that again, we have two versions. Okay, one is done by the Ukrainian side, one is done by the Russian side. So now the government is studying both of these theories. So because both claims are, on the surface, is logical, So the government, I think sooner or later, will have to decide which one do you accept, whether it is done by the Ukrainian side or it is done by the Russian side. So that is again a tricky issue because, unfortunately, that plane was at the airspace of a war zone. You see, so really unfortunate. This is a very unfortunate incident for Malaysia in 2014 on these airline accidents. But we hope that we can really come up with an answer as soon as possible. Yeah.
Earlier you mentioned Pakistan and Malaysia need to strengthen political relationship. As you said that there have been no high-level visits from Malaysia to Pakistan and from here to Malaysia. So how can we accelerate this process of political consultation? Do we need a proper forum to be created for political consultation, for taking strategic decisions in the realm of politics? What would you like to suggest?
Well, as a result of the absence of high-level visits, especially at the level of heads of government or head of state, I think both sides have to review again, the situation. We have the platform, actually. We have the Joint Commission meeting. We have alternate years, one hosted by Pakistan, one hosted by Malaysia. We have all the platform. But I think maybe both leaders at this juncture are both I noticed
in their own domestic affairs.
On domestic affairs. We have the problems of fighting terrorism here, and our Prime Minister also busy with the domestic politics and with the floods and so on. So both, I think, are too preoccupied with their internal things. But I do believe that sooner or later it will take place because there have already been some actions been taken. For example, your Prime Minister extended the invitation for my Prime Minister to come
to Pakistan.
There have been some movements, and your Prime Minister has attended some of our meetings abroad. We organized one on the World Islamic Economic Forum in London, where your Prime Minister attended. So there is some context there. But for exchange of visit between the two capitals, we hope to see our materialize very soon, inshallah. Yeah.
Thank you, High Commissioner.
Thank you.
नाज़रीन, आज हमारे इस प्रोग्राम में आपने पाकिस्तान में मलेशिया के हाई कमिश्नर जनाब डॉक्टर हसरत सानी मुज्तबार की गुफ्तगू सुनी। उन्होंने बताया कि पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया दोनों इस्लामी ममालिक हैं, दोनों के ताल्लुकात बहुत अच्छे हैं और हमारे ममालिक में तजारत जो है वो बहुत बढ़ रही है और इसमें मज़ीद वसअत पैदा हो सकती है। उनका ख्याल है कि हमें जो तेल की दरामद पाकिस्तान मलेशिया से पाम ऑयल दरामद करता है उस तक महदूद नहीं होनी चाहिए, बल्कि इस तजारत को हमें फैलाना चाहिए और इसको डाइवर्सिफाई करना चाहिए। मुख्तलिफ शोबों में हमारी तजारत होनी चाहिए। उन्होंने इंतहा पसंदी और दहशत गर्दी पर भी इज़हार ख्याल किया। उनका कहना है कि दोनों ममालिक जो हैं उनको एक जैसे मसाइल का सामना है, लेकिन हमें इंतहा पसंदी और दहशत गर्दी को कंट्रोल करना होगा। इसके लिए कई इक़दामात करने की ज़रूरत है और ख़ास तौर पर उन इलाकों में जहाँ इंतहा पसंदी है वहाँ माशी तौर पर लोगों को खुशहाल बनाना होगा, उनको तालीम देना होगी। उनका ख्याल है कि पाकिस्तान और मलेशिया दोनों مختلف صنعتوں میں جن میں توانائی کا شعبہ ہے، جس میں ایٹمی توانائی بھی شامل ہے، اس میں باہمی تعاون جو ہے وہ کر سکتے ہیں۔ اسی کے ساتھ یہ پروگرام ختم ہوتا ہے۔ جاوید صدیق کو اجازت دیجیے، خدا حافظ۔ تھینک یو، ویری کائنڈ، تھینک یو سو مچ۔
Thank you so much.